All right, let's talk about a skill that's so basic we kind of forget it's a skill at all, writing a good paragraph. But honestly, getting this right is the difference between your amazing ideas actually hitting home or just getting lost in the noise. So we're going to break down how to go from total writing chaos to crystal clarity.
Okay, so let's start with a scene I'm pretty sure you're familiar with. You have this brilliant idea in your head, you're hyped about it, you know it backwards and forwards, but when you go to write it down, it just comes out as a complete and total mess.
Yeah, take a look at this. Does this monster look familiar? This right here is the dreaded wall of text. It happens when you try to cram like 3 or 4 different ideas into the same space, and they all just fight each other for attention until whoever's reading it has absolutely no clue what you're trying to say. It's confusing, and honestly, it just completely buries your great idea. We have all been there. You're writing that super important email to a professor, or trying to explain your final project, or even just, a social media post that you want people to actually read. You hit send, and then you get that sinking feeling that your main point just got totally swallowed by a jungle of words. But here's the thing, there is a secret tool to fix this, and it's not some weird complex grammar rule nobody remembers. It's the humble paragraph. And I want you to think of it less as a rule you have to follow and more like a superpower for clear thinking and powerful communication. The actual definition is so simple. A group of related sentences that develop a single point. The magic words here, the ones you need to remember, are single point. Seriously, if you take only one thing away from all this, let it be that. One paragraph, one single focused idea. That's it. Think of it like this. You can't build a castle if you don't know how to lay a single brick perfectly, right? Well, the paragraph is your brick. Once you get really good at this one fundamental unit, you can build anything. A killer essay, a persuasive argument, a story that gets people hooked from the very first line. So, how do we build that perfect brick? It really all comes down to 2 simple but super powerful principles you see right here. First, the principle of unity, and second, the power of logical order. Let's dig into what those actually mean. First up is unity. And this is the golden rule. It just means that every single sentence in your paragraph has one job and one job only, to support the main idea of that one paragraph. And I mean, there are 0 exceptions, no mercy. If you've got a sentence, even if it sounds really smart or clever, if it doesn't directly serve that one central point, it's just a distraction. You gotta cut it. That kind of ruthless focus is what makes your writing so clear and keeps your reader totally locked in. Okay, so now you've got a bunch of sentences, and they're all focused on one idea. Awesome! But now we need our second principle, logical order. See, it's not enough to just have the right sentences. You have to arrange them in a way that creates a smooth, clear path for your reader to follow. And this path isn't just random, it's gotta be on purpose. Are you telling a story? Well, then put the sentences in the order that things happened. Simple. Are you building an argument? Maybe you could start with your weakest point and then build up to your strongest one for a really powerful finish. The whole point is to guide your reader's thinking from point A to point B, without them ever getting lost. Let's actually see this in action. The before example on the left, total chaos. It starts talking about how cats are territorial, then it jumps to how they were worshipped in Egypt, then it's about them being independent. It completely breaks the rule of unity, and the reader is just left confused. But now, look at the after. It makes one single, clear point in the very first sentence. Cats are deeply attached to places, not people. Every single sentence after that, about them returning to old houses or feeling secure, supports that one idea. It's clear, it's persuasive, and it's so much easier to follow. Okay, so we've got our 2 guiding principles, unity and order. Now let's get super practical with the actual blueprint. A really strong paragraph is basically built around 2 key sentences that give it its entire structure. First up, you've got the topic sentence. This is almost always the very first sentence, and its job is to be your paragraph's mission statement. It basically tells the reader, hey, this is the one thing we're going to talk about for the next few sentences. Get ready. It sets the whole expectation and gives you immediate focus. And then, at the other end, you have the concluding sentence. You should think of this as your paragraph's mic drop. Its job is to summarize the point you just made, hammer home that main idea one last time, and just give the reader a feeling of, okay, got it. It signals that you're done with this idea and ready to move on. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, this is just for English class, right? Wrong. This skill goes so far beyond writing essays. let's talk about why mastering the paragraph is a total game changer in the real world. Because this isn't about grades, it's about real-world influence. You want to convince a future boss to hire you? Your cover letter better have clear, powerful paragraphs. You need your team to understand a complicated project update. Focused paragraphs will save you from a million follow-up questions. Even a social media caption just lands better when it makes its point cleanly. At the end of the day, clarity is persuasion. But here it is. Here's the real secret, the biggest takeaway of all. The process of building a good paragraph, forcing yourself to stick to one idea and arrange your thoughts logically, it doesn't just make your writing clearer, it actually makes your thinking clearer. It's a tool that forces you to really understand your own ideas before you ever try to explain them to someone else. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. What's the one idea you need to get across clearly right now? Maybe it's in an email, a text, whatever. Just try it. Take what you've learned here, build one solid, focused paragraph around that single idea, and just watch how much more powerful your message becomes. That is how you get from chaos to clarity.